The following is a presentation of the Eagles Sports Network.
You know, the big thing for us going into the regular season finale is one thing we talked about our guys the whole year, start to finish, so gives us the opportunity to finish well, if we'll go finish the race the way we laid it out at the beginning of the year.
What's it like for this team to have an opportunity to finish with a winning record? One, considering the start to this season, but two, also considering where you were a year ago.
I think it's important. I think it's something that really gives us something else to fight for. That's what we talked about. We fought all year. Going to West Georgia, you lose the first game and you fight all year to get back to 500. That's what we talked about after the game Saturday. We're back to 500 now. Let's just go win the next football game and try to make ourselves a winner.
All year long, you've preached the quest for consistency, I suppose. In these past 2 weeks, it feels like that has really started to develop, and you've been able to build on success. Going for 3 in a row, what's it take to continue that consistency?
It's going to take consistency. It's still going to take, guys doing the little things right. Believing in themselves, having confidence to do the things that it takes to win the football game. When we step on the field, we have to believe that, we're going to be able to make good things happen. And it's always better for kids when you can see it. And sometimes somebody keep telling you over and over and over something, but, it's always easier once you can kind of see the fruit of that. That's what we talked to them yesterday, having a day off. We talked to them yesterday, about, it's going to take the same stuff. We still got to go through the same execution. We got to take right steps. We got to play low. We still got to fit tight off of blocks. And then all of a sudden, see if we can block a punt, see if we can return a kick, see if we can create a short field, see if we can get the ball in the end zone, see if we can make plays on defense.
You hit on a few things there that you've done unbelievably well in the last 2 meetings with Catawba. Block punts and return kicks. 4 of the last 8 kickoffs against the Indians have gone for touchdowns. You scored 2 touchdowns off of block punts in the last 2 meetings. You've gotten pretty good at getting to the punter this season. You're top 10 in the country in punt blocks. What's that a testament to?
I think it's a testament to, guys starting to believe in one another. I think Coach Goss and the rest of the guys, that's what I say his staff, because it's a conglomeration of all of our coaches. But I think that's one thing that, we as coaches have began to do well. Coach Goss is the coordinator, but the other coaches on staff really taking ownership in their part of the kicking game. And what happens is you can kind of see consistent coaching over the year. Guys are starting to develop. They're kind of starting to see and understand the schemes and fits. It's a little different every week, but they're starting to kind of, get the carryover. And so that's where you can see us, fit tight off of that end guy to get vertical to where we give ourselves a chance to, block a punt without roughing the kicker. That's a skill. And so those guys are starting this work. They've worked enough to start getting better at it, and now they can see it on film. It works if they'll just go do it the correct way.
Last week you had to face it off against one of the most dynamic return men in the country, Robert Carter. You bottled him up pretty well, and that actually gets escalated. Juan Pryor is number 1 in the nation in kickoff return yardage. He's one of 4 guys in the country to return multiple kickoffs for touchdowns this year. What makes him so electric back there returning kicks for you?
Number 1, he's speed. He sees the blocks, and he can he does a good job of responding and reacting to them. They do a good job of blocking for him because, same thing as us. They've got a guy back there they believe in. They know he can do it. And so the big thing for us is, we need to keep it deep. We need to kick it deep enough he can't come out of there, and then we still need to cover just in case he does.
Catawba has been probably as banged up as anybody that's played football this season. The quarterbacks they've had to play through because of injury. No doubt, though, that there's probably no quit in a Curtis Walker coach team. What do you expect out of the Indians?
We expect them to come out and give us a great effort. You can see they've been in, a good majority of their games. They're a young football team. Overall, when you see what they played the last couple of weeks, and so we expect those guys to come out and give us their very best.
What has surprised you about the evolution of your own team this year?
It's weird because sometimes surprise would indicate that you kind of didn't see it or didn't know. I think the big thing for us is like, we've seen the potential, with a young group. I think the biggest surprise is just like, and watching the biggest, I think, not necessarily surprise, but like circumstance that you see is them overcoming difficult times. A lot of times when we get our back against the wall, it's easy just to stop. But, we got our back against the wall. Guys continue to come out every day. They continue to work. They continue to believe in one another. They continue to believe in what we're doing, to get to the point to where they can start seeing some success.
This will be the last game for some guys for opportunities to impact the record books. Braxton Westfield's 4 catches away from 100. Chance to become the 6th guy in program history for that. Frazel Giardini-Weish has a chance to bypass Mark Isom, Cedric Killings, two pretty big names on the defensive line. Just how cool is it to have these moments here for guys down the stretch run of their career where they can etch themselves in history? As a guy who still occupies a few spots in that record book.
I think, for them, I mean, it's hard because, like, you want to see that happen, but, like, when you're going to the football game, the biggest thing you're focused on is taking what you get so that you can go win the football game. So you hope the opportunity presents themselves for those guys to be able to capitalize on those moments and then just be able to celebrate with them when it does. I mean, like, you're the record book guy. I'm like, good night. Like, I didn't know, I didn't know any of that because, like, for us as coaches, I mean, it's you watch the video, you kind of lock in, and, like, this route's open, that route's not. We all be fit here and make that tackle. We'll get him in the game in this situation, and then you hope that can kind of give guys an opportunity to finish their career and really etch themselves into history here at Carson-Newman.
Anything else to add?
I think big one is like the final game for the seniors that we have here. I know last week for us was senior day, but it was their last game that they play here at home. But this is like for most of them, this is it. And we're just super grateful for, all the effort that they put into, being Carson-Newman Eagles. And for us, it's always good to see those guys, kind of like homecoming last week, be able to have an opportunity in a place to come back and call home. And so we're just grateful for those guys that's finishing their career here.
The optimist in me, obviously you've talked about getting back to Carson-Newman being on the national stage and certainly took some steps this year. Obviously want to be in the playoffs. That's not in the cards, barring I don't know what it would take other than meteors hitting select cities in the southeast. How much of a benefit is it, though, if you're not in the playoffs, to have a chance to close out the year with a winning streak, something that if you're in the playoffs, only one team's going to get to do?
Yeah, that's right. Even when we were making those runs, there's only, 2 ways that that you're going to have an opportunity. Like when you play your last game is if you're not in the playoffs, and then if you're in that championship game. Right now, we're not going to make it. That's just kind of part of it. Like sometimes in life, you just have to face where you are and move on. But the good thing is it does give us opportunity to celebrate with these guys. When this game's over with, hopefully we'll get this win and be able to go hug and love and take some pictures and relish this moment.